Hey guys. For anyone that's played Escape from Tarkov, we all have come to realize that within a few short minutes of our first raid ever, that this game has an extremely steep learning curve. One of the things that content creators like myself have made an attempt to do is shorten how bad that time to learn all of this stuff is. And with the biggest influx of players that we've ever seen historically, I thought it pertinent to maybe do some videos on some more nuanced things that most people don't think to show you. So, much like the last video I made that showed 6 little known things about Escape from Tarkov in point 12, I came to realize that there's an awful lot more little things that most of us veterans tend to take for granted. So, this short series that I'm starting to create now will cover a lot more of the nuanced things that exist inside of Tarkov as I come across them. And my hope is that you guys find this to be interesting. So, anyway, hey everybody. My name is Onepeg. I am a veteran Tarkov player with currently more than 3,100 hours spent in raid and almost 2,000 hours spent streaming it, in addition to other content I've made for YouTube. And this little series is what I'm going to call Little Things. So anyway, here's 6 more little things that I have found along the way, and I hope you guys find it as interesting as I do. Enjoy. Armored rigs offer a bit of an interesting aspect to Escape from Tarkov. A couple of patches ago, BSG implemented the ability for chest rigs to not only have storage space, allowing for quick access for meds, weapons, food, and grenades via hotkeys, but then also added armor values and durability to them. In prior patches, you were able to double up this armor by wearing an armored rig over top of another piece of body armor, but since the implementation of point 12, this is no longer the case. Further, BSG also increased the armor value and durability of almost all of the armored chest rigs in the game. However, with the most recent iteration of changes, they made almost all of the more desirable armors barter only. The largest benefit to wearing these rigs instead of something like chest armor comes on the Reserve and Woods maps, where even though you technically are wearing armor, the game will still allow you to leave from each of the map's respective repelling extracts, which it will not let you do when wearing a standard piece of chest armor like a Gen 4 or a Fort. Even in the case of a P.A.C.A., it will still disallow you to rappel down. This leaves a significant amount of free space in a backpack to maximize on a loot run if you're wearing a chest rig instead. In this case, the best of the chest rigs are, in my opinion, the AVS rig and the TacTech rig for different reasons. The AVS rig is a 70 by 70 durability class 4 armor with 24 storage slots, 8 of which are 2x2, allowing for looted items like helmets, headsets, antique vases, etc. to fit in them. It is also the most accessible rig of its armor class and storage capacity due to its commonality on PMC bots, and therefore the flea market. The TacTech rig, instead, is a 50 durability class 5 thorax or chest-only armor rig. It's the only class 5 armor rig in the game currently. If you're looking for some additional chest armor and don't mind leaving the stomach exposed, this could be a viable alternative to wearing something akin to a Gen 4, although it does have less durability and covers only half of your torso. One of my favorite things to do in Tarkov is to go into a map with a halfway decent armor set for some survivability and a pistol, in hopes that I'll either kill someone with or find a decent assault rifle or other weapon instead. On maps like the Reserve, there are a great number of places where you can find some stock AKs, almost always with mid-grade 545 BP ammo. If you're like me, you tend to always be on the lookout for boxes of BS, BT, and 7N39 for weapons like this, which would be much more useful than something like mid-grade BP. And if you're like me, you also tend to take the time to empty out and repack that mag with the better ammo that you found. Whenever you equip a gun that you loot from a rack or container, the first motion that your PMC does is rack a bullet into the empty chamber of the gun. So if you forget to repack the mag first, now you have a subpar first shot in the chamber. So how do you get rid of it? Well, aside from just pulling the trigger, if you want to be a little bit more quiet about it, there is another option. First, you have to check the chamber of your gun. This is done by holding Shift-T by default. This will check the chamber of the gun and tell you in your inspection screen what the round is, rather than showing you a grayed out box with a question mark in it. Once that's done, you need to remove the mag from the gun. Lastly, inspect the rifle. Hover the mouse over the chambered round and press delete. This drops the round. In my case, I have this bound to a button on my mouse, and I suggest that everyone watching this video hotkeys something similar for quick access to item dropping. Once you hit delete, you get this cool animation. Now, repack your mag and go on about your business. In my travels on the reserve map, I found an awful lot of places that can offer some really great sight lines, but none of them seem to be more fun or interesting than this one. Near the broken down train yard area by the heat pipe scav extraction, there is a guard tower with a very interesting set of armored steel plates, one of which seems a bit higher than the others. If you jump up these series of steel plates once at the top of the tallest one, you can use this to jump on the roof of the guard tower if you time it right and jump at the correct angle. It might take you a few attempts, but this allows you to have a significant view of several key lanes of the map, and also tends to be a place that currently not many people would think to look. I've had some really great cheeky plays from this spot, and I think it might prove useful to all of you that give it a shot as well. With the most recent holiday content patch, Reserve also saw some changes for the stationary weapon placements. One in particular is easily seen from the ground on the train station roof, but a lot of people still aren't quite sure on how to get up there to use it. Well, here's how. Inside of the train station, there is a set of stairs that lead up to a doorway with a split-level roof that has a wooden ramp. This ramp leads up to a tin roof that has a dead scav at the other end of it. If you walk down the roof to where the scav is and go inside this broken window, once inside, you'll end up standing on this support beam. Walk down this beam to the cross beam and walk across. On the other side, walk along this next beam to the opposite window and go outside onto the building's opposite roof, where you'll find the machine gun waiting for you. This vantage point is currently extremely useful for fighting Gluky Boy and his 6 minions due to the mechanics of the machine gun ammo and its overwhelmingly high damage and multi-wall penetration ability. Lastly, I want to talk about hideout crafting and bartering. Crafting in the hideout is a bit messy sometimes, especially when it comes to making consumables with different levels of durability. But one of the great things about this is that currently the hideout crafting recipes nor the traders care about the durability remaining on an item. For instance, 2 sugar are required to make moonshine for the more lucrative scav case runs for late game hideout. But the game doesn't care if you use sugar that is 1 out of 70 or sugar that is 70 out of 70. Durability of the sugar is not important, just that you have it. The same is true for blue fuel cans. 2 blue cans with some nuts, bolts, and scissors make a magazine case in the lavatory that can be sold back to therapist for 315,000 rubles. However, there is no requirement that these fuel cans be full. The natural progression here would be to consume the fuel in your generator so that you get the usage from that, and then, once exhausted, take those blue containers and make a magazine case with them, rather than using fuel cans that are full of fuel. This method is true for every bartering trade and crafting recipe in the game, currently. So don't be afraid to use up all but 1 durability of an item if you're planning on trading it in later for something better or more valuable. So, there's 6 more interesting things in the current Tarkov patch. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you would be so kind, please consider subscribing to the channel and maybe even come check out my completely horrendous content on Twitch. There's going to be a link in the description, just like every other YouTube video. So again, my name is Onepeg. Thanks so much, guys, for lending me your eyeballs. May your bags be full of juice, your cheeks remain undivided, and your shots always land head eyes.